All right, Jeff Zimmerman here. I'm with the light middleweight champion of the world, Tim Tszyu. Got his big fight here in Las Vegas, Sin City, March 30th against one-time Keith Thurman, opening up Amazon Prime's pay-per-view. How you doing, champ?
Yeah. It's been a long road. I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, man. And I want to talk about your road a little bit. You're the son of a legend, the son of a Hall of Famer, Katsa Tszyu. What was it like growing up with your dad being a fighter and that now a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, look, my upbringing, I'd say my dad was like a military sergeant, you know. When you describe Everyone describes their father as a real life superhero, you know. Everyone grows up seeing their father as that. Well, my dad was an actual real life superhero, you know. So growing up, I saw it all from the glitz, from the glamour, from the good, from the bad. Boxing isn't just what people see. There's a lot to it, and I got to see everything involved with it growing up.
You saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, it sounds like.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and you started off young and then you kind of went away from the sport a little bit, right? In your teen years?
Yeah, I think my parents sort of did everything to prevent me to pursue the sport, but it would always uh it would always bring me back. I've always grown up in a boxing gym, so it was always something that was part of my life.
Right, right. And then all of a sudden, you break out on the scene. You beat a former Olympian in Gasha, and then you take on the
Harrison.
super Harrison and make a statement stopping him. Does it? You said it's been kind of a long ride, but it feels like you've kind of burst onto the scene these last few years.
Yeah, the last few years since I've started taking that international step and taking on credible opponents, I think that's when it's sort of just gone viral. So again, you fight in the pub shows, you fight in small little shows to get to the ultimate stage, and this is where the ultimate stage is right now.
And obviously you're a hero back home in Australia. But you're becoming a USA star, it seems like. You're at the Super Bowl doing the media row. Do you feel like you're becoming bigger and bigger each day here in the States?
Um, I see how America is, and I've enjoyed the whole process about it. Of course, it's another nation to conquer, and I'm enjoying the whole ride about it. And of course, popularity comes into it, and people start following you, and there's more support, of course. But that's part of boxing, you know. It's all about, I guess, the journey.
Yeah, yeah. And where did you become so media savvy? Because you seem like a real quiet guy, but then you're up there on the dais with a guy in Keith one-time Thurman, who I've interviewed for this fight, calling you Mexican Zoo, what are you gonna do? And doing some verbal sparring. And I would say, man, you held your own pretty good. I don't think a lot of people have seen that side of you.
Yeah, you know what? It's all about standing up to it and the theatrics of boxing. And I've sort of embraced it, you know. I've sort of just always been business, but I'm enjoying the whole process of it. Someone's going to talk smack and talk a bit of rubbish, then I'm going to be the one answering back, of course. The best thing about the sport that I do is that we get to punch them in the face as well with it. So uh, a bit of banter never hurt nobody.
Yeah, it's funny. I live in Dallas, so I've covered Errol Spence's career, and kind of the same way, right? Real stoic, real, just goes about business. But if you ask him a question, he'll give you a good answer. In fact, I asked him one time when he was about 15-0, and he wanted to, fight Keith Thurman back then. And he said to me, Keith Thurman thinks he's the big bad wolf and nobody wants to fight him, yet he was ready to fight him. So you kind of remind me of him.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes the less you talk, the more confident you are. The loudest one in the room is probably the most insecure one in the room.
Yeah, and you talked the other day too. You mentioned about kind of there's not a lot of like old school guys anymore, kind of throwbacks. You know, you
Mm,
consider yourself one. I thought of Spence as one,
mm.
Crawford another guy. There's another guy in Dallas, Vergil Ortiz. Um, are those guys that you would consider kind of that throwback mentality?
Um, to a certain extent, Errol Spence, he doesn't fight often though, you know. Like throwback, I think of Roy Jones, I think of Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, all these guys. I think we live in a different era right now to be even mentioned with these guys.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think though, as your career starts to take off and you get bigger and bigger, the money gets better and better, it seems like that's what it's kind of the business of boxing that's kind of preventing these guys from fighting more?
I see the politics involved. Um, I understand that back in the days it would have been much easier because there wasn't so many networks and promoters and belts. You know, another thing, belts. Um, if we could make just one belt and everyone fights for that, that way there's one champ in each division. Um, wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. You win the WBO belt. You got the interim title versus Harrison. Then you fight Mendoza. Do you still want to crack at Charlo? Because that was the fight you really wanted.
100%. You know, and the thing is, Charlo doesn't have any belts right now, and that's what makes it even more anticipated for me. Like I'll fight him with no belts, you know, like it doesn't matter. Let's make it let's prove who's the best 154 pounder alive right now. And yeah, that's my mentality. But I think Charlo's on another world right now. He's not even thinking about boxing.
Yeah. What about if Spence and Crawford go to 154 and I mentioned Vergil Ortiz? Would you take those guys on right now?
100%. No questions asked. If they give me any of those three names right now, a contract, give me a pen. I'll sign it straight away. No problem.
Who would be your toughest test, do you think?
I think I think Crawford right now has earned the right to say he's the number one pound for pound. Um, so I think he would be, yes.
What would you and Vergil look like? It seems like it would be fireworks.
Man, that'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy fight. That'd be a bloodbath, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for me. Not for me.
I got you. I got you. He's been waiting for that big fight himself. Obviously he's dealt with a lot of health issues the last couple of years, but you would share the ring with him.
Oh, for sure, man. There's nothing but respect with that with Vergil, you know? Like he's a warrior. Oscar on the other hand, he's out of control.
In what sense?
I don't know, just I don't know. He seems like he's off his head at all the time. So Virgil's got a good head, and if that fight is easy to make, then of course I'd welcome it with both hands.